I just wanted to take a moment to say thank you for all you do and the commitment and dedication given to make our company a success. Be safe and enjoy the holidays with your families. Thank you.
Okay. Hello everybody, this is Mike Compagno with the Supply Chain Department and a Take 5 for y'all. I just wanted to go over real quickly a couple new things we got developing here. Some of this you may have already seen in the plant, come through the plant. We're designing 3 new boxes, or actually redesigning a few of our boxes. The first one that we're redesigning is our 1 pound box that we use in Fresh Cut. This is what we have been using for years and years and years. It's been a great one for our company. This new box is what we're calling an 8-sided box. If you could see from the top of the box, these edges are squared off. What this box has been able to do for us is increase the airflow on the pallets. And also, because we now have 8 corners, 8 edges on each box instead of just 4, that the normal traditional box will have, this gives us the opportunity to make the box stronger with cheaper paper. So we're actually able to save money converting over to this box. So that was one of the changes we made that's taking place in Fresh Cut. We're already working with these. The next thing that we're looking at doing is, we're calling these is a plastic box, and we've used them back in May for our 1.35 bushel box. And we're using them now. We've decided to make a full conversion over to these, at least for several months, for our green onion box. So this is the original green onion box. We can get these with print. We're still working on that piece of it. We may or may not go down that road. We're not sure yet. But these boxes are made of plastic instead of cardboard, wax coated. So we're able to get them at a cheaper cost, and they're also 100% recyclable. Wax coated boxes, we cannot find anywhere to really recycle these. The wax coating on them makes them pretty much impossible to recycle. So this is one of the big upgrades and changes we're doing. Cheaper, they're more sturdy. You don't have to worry about them getting wet. They hold up just fine underwater. And again, 100% recyclable box. The last one, change that we're working on, this is our traditional 1.35 bushel box. Everybody should be very familiar with this. This is the flagship of our wax coated boxes out there in the fields that we use. We're trying to redesign this box right now, and if you could see the difference in the footprint. So this is going to fit only 5 to a pallet as opposed to 7 to a pallet that we do right now on each layer. I'm sorry, per layer on the pallet. And you can see that it's shorter. One of the reasons we're exploring this change is the bigger opening at the top. And the fact that it's shorter makes it much easier for the harvesters to put the product inside the box without skinning their arms as they're trying to lower the product inside the box. And the other thing we're hoping is that this box is going to give us more stability on a pallet with it being shorter and hopefully less likely to fall over. Price difference is about the same. They're about the same in cost. But we're still working on this one because we're having some design challenges right now. So this may or may not come to pass. We're hoping it does because we like the fact that it's going to make things a little easier for the harvesters. There you have it, 3 new boxes from the Supply Chain Department. Thank you very much.
Hey everybody, that's Pete from Transportation with this week's Take 5. This week we're going to talk about a great invention that is on our vehicles, and that is called the blinkers. You can make a left or right hand turn blinker, and what that's for is to signal what your intentions are to do when changing lanes or maybe making a turn at a stoplight. Of course, at a stoplight or a stop sign, you need to make a complete stop, and then you can move on. But when you're driving, say on the interstate, and you need to change over, it is recommended that you have 100 feet between you and the vehicle ahead of you, which is about 1.2 seconds at 60 miles an hour, and that's when you should be having your blinker on. And then when you have made the complete change of lanes, that is when you should turn off your blinker. It's to let the people behind you and in front of you, when they're looking through their mirrors, see what your intentions are. If you remember a few weeks ago, we talked about the Smith system, and this is one of those principles, which is make sure you are seen. So make sure the other people are around you see you by using your blinkers. Make sure you give yourself plenty of time Don't just hit it for a second and turn it off. Make sure you're giving a few seconds of it blinking so those people behind and in front of you can adjust their speed and they see what your intentions are. Thanks.
Hey y'all, it's Alex in marketing. We hope that everyone has been following along and loving our journey of Where Fresh Happens. We're a few chapters behind, so let's get caught up. Up first, we've got Chapter 7, Pre-Harvest Food Safety. Let's start with our food safety efforts. When preparing for a healthy harvest, we must take the necessary steps to keep all crops food safe. Before we put a seed in the ground, we begin our bi-weekly internal audits. This means we check all equipment from our large pivots down to our tractor equipment. This reduces the chance of error and prepares us for a successful season. We've talked about it before, so you know it's truly that important. While our scouts are out and about weekly, it's important that right before a harvest, our farmers do one final stroll through the field, cautiously looking for any signs of wildlife, disease, or food-related risk. These risks could prevent us from a successful harvest, but ensure that we're providing only the freshest of quality product to our communities. With the help of good agricultural practices and good handling practices, these voluntary audits allow us to verify that all product is being handled, packed, and stored safely. Regular inspections on the farm help keep food safety issues to a minimum. Each U.S. state has a dedicated food and safety division in which they're responsible for performing regular on-site inspections to employ or enforce safeguards to keep our consumers safe. This farm safety program ensures that growers have access to the resources they need to provide safe, high-quality food for consumers in the U.S. and around the world. Up next, we'll be talking about Chapter 8, Harvesting. Our harvesters are a talented and hardworking group. You've heard it here before, our fresh veggies are hand harvested. While the labor can be intensive, harvesting vegetables by hand is still the most efficient and effective method of harvesting. Not only does it allow us to reharvest more quickly, but it's much more gentle on the product and ensures we're selecting the highest of quality. Like I said, our team of harvesters are skilled, and hand harvesting in itself is a craft. Our team of craftsmen and their gentle care allows our crops to be harvested twice. In fact, everything we harvest minus weeds is harvested twice. The leaves are cut and the stem is left intact. The center is the growing point and will begin growing new leaves when properly watered and fertilized like a planted seed. Everything we harvest on the farm goes on a wagon. These wagons are a major asset in getting our product from the field to the warehouse quickly, where they are then cooled, labeled, and shipped. They can hold almost 1,000 boxes of product. As one trailer fills, a second is nearby ready for the next load so that we're always maintaining the freshest of quality. Our dedication to providing fresh, wholesome vegetables from our family farm is proven in the long hours our harvesting team members spend in the fields. On average, our harvesters put in 40 to 60 hours a week harvesting. During the busy season, also known as the holiday season, the days range even longer. From local farms here in South Carolina to farms across the nation, it's team members like these that make fresh produce available on our local grocery store shelves every day. So how exactly do our harvesters know how much to harvest of each crop? Based off our customers' orders, a digital cut sheet is made. This sheet is then given to the harvest manager. The manager then creates work orders assigning a field and a crop for each crew. Thanks to technology, the harvest manager is able to give real-time updates of how much has been harvested throughout the day, and when the job has been finished, loaded, and received. This level of organization allows us to always get our fresh product out to our customers as quick as possible. Most importantly, we want to say thank you to our guest workers. We're incredibly thankful for our guest workers who join us seasonally. These workers are part of a special government contract program and are only with us for 10 months out of the year. These hardworking individuals work long hours and withstand all weather conditions to help us put fresh product on the shelves to fuel our bodies. Without them, the job wouldn't get done. That's it for Chapter 8 of Where Fresh Happens. Stay tuned for next month's topic.
Hey, this is Josh Hall in our Field Operations Department. Today I'm going to talk a little bit about soil samples. So soil samples are extremely important to what we do out here in the field. They're really the start of what we do before there can be any planting, any growing, any harvesting. We've got to take soil samples to see what we're starting with from a nutrient standpoint. So these are taken months in advance of anything that will be planted, and just wanted to explain them a little bit today. So as you can see, they're in these bags. This bag right here happens to be a sample from field M4. So that is one of our Pennsylvania fields. So M4 is the field, and then if I turn this bag over, you can see this little picture right here shows a very simple illustration of how soil samples are supposed to be taken. So just imagine this rectangle is your field, and then these 6 or 7 dots are where you go and take individual samples of soil or probes. So you go out, we happen to have a soil sample machine, so it's mounted to a side-by-side type, basically an off-road golf cart. And you go out to the field. If I were doing it, I would drive to a certain point, I'd press a button, our soil probe would go into the ground. A set distance, we try to go for about 7 inches deep. It takes that soil out, dumps it into a bucket. You move on to the next point, the next point, the next point, the next point, the next point. By the end of it, you should be, have a full bucket of soil, and that soil should be representative of the entire field since you went to all these different random spots. That soil is mixed up and then put into a bag. This bag will be sent off to Clemson. We use Clemson Labs to do our soil analysis. So they will run the soil, and we will get a report in about a week or 2 that will show the nutrient levels. So it will have basically what's in the soil, and then based on what is in the soil, we can determine what we need to add before we start to plant for the next season. So these soil samples are extremely important. We've got, I don't know, 350 or so fields between all locations, and each field is sampled at least once per year. A lot of them get 2 samples, just routine samples per year, and then if we've got any fields that are showing some issues, some weak spots, we'll take further samples to help diagnose what the issue is. But yeah, this is soil samples, extremely important to what we do. Just wanted to share that with everybody. Thank you.